music producers? It's Matt back here in the home studio today, and we are doing Let's Make a Song Part 15. We are almost done with this bad boy. Today should be kind of a fun day on it. We're going to be doing, I think, a little bit of arrangement today. We've been working pretty hard on doing sounds, doing parts. I think today we're going to work on some arrangement. So without further ado, let's jump in. And as always, let's give ourselves a listen here and see where we're starting from. I'll just play it. Well, we'll just take a listen because I haven't listened to it since the last lesson.
One more day, feels like you threw my heart away. One more chance, let a good love slip through your hands. Stand inside when the tears start coming, falling down like rain. It's like a sickness, you broke me with a quickness, a brand new kind of pain. And all I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. All I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. All I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. All I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, I think that's the gist of it. In case anybody hadn't heard what we've been working on. This is All I Can Do Is Dance. And as always, let's go ahead and start off by doing a file, save live set as. Now, the newer Ableton anyway, I don't know about some of the other DAWs out there, but Ableton actually with this, I'm on version 10, I just upgraded, and they actually do have like a built-in backup system now with it. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. And I don't know if it's going to be that obvious the way that they're doing it, but basically I like to do it the live save live set as lesson, just because I mean, first of all, I know how it works, and it seems a little bit simpler to me. But yeah, okay, so let me share this with you guys in case any of y'all are not familiar, you've never seen it. So this is my Ableton backup. They actually create a backup folder for you. So you can see how, I guess it looks like they're putting the date in here. And yeah, it looks, okay, yeah, so they do the date with the increments that I'm choosing. So I guess technically you could probably just rely on this if you wanted to. I like to be able to, I'm gonna have to explore this a little bit more because I like to be able to go back to just one session the way I left it. I suppose what this is doing is it's actually giving you, obviously, as you can see, so these are all my backups right here. These are the ones I've been doing file live save live set as. This is the backups right here that they have, which is a bunch. So they have 70 backups. I have over here 20, or rather 16. So I just thought I'd show you all the difference there and how that works. If anybody out there is working on Ableton, that might be of some help to you. And also, if any of you guys or girls have any questions, of course, feel free to ask. What's up, Maria? Thanks for saying hello. Appreciate that. All right, so we're going to do some arrangement today. And what that means is we have a verse, but we know we're going to need an intro. Now, One thing to know about with dance music and house music like this, there's usually two versions. There's usually what we would call a radio version, where it's basically just going to start pretty much right here.
One more day.
But then you're also going to have essentially the extended or the DJ friendly version, where we'll basically put like a little bit of a kind of broken down intro here, where the DJs will have at least 8 bars. A lot of the stuff they'll do 16 bars. Let's go ahead and we'll put in another 8 bars here, because this is an 8-bar intro I've got going right now. You can see down, well, I have to hover, but it says 8 bars long right there. So let's bring this back actually, and let's make it a 16-bar intro, because what we can do is we can always chop it down. It'll be more of a pain in the butt to go back later and add stuff to it. So let's not really worry about running into that problem. We'll just do a 16-bar intro right now. So once we get that going, essentially you can see how I roll up here with these locators. If you don't use locators in your songs yet, you need to get on that ASAP, because I could not produce rather without these locators. Okay, so let's get an overview here. We got the 8-bar or the 16-bar intro rather. We've got an 8-bar verse A. We've got an 8-bar verse B. We've got a build. I think let's rename this to build A. And then I think, no, it doesn't let me copy that. I'm going to put in another locator. I'm going to call it build B, because this is where we're going to put kind of like our super snare build risers and build the tension and all that good stuff. So the breakdown now over here, let's do a 16-bar breakdown, because that's going to go right back into these drops. So let me see if I can fold everybody up here and check this out. I'm going to do all of this, and then I'm going to get my 16 bars here, and then I'm going to do a duplicate. So what that's going to do is it's going to bring all this drop A and B stuff over here, and it just left me my 16 bars for my breakdown, right? So let's go in here now, put in a locator, drop A, or if you want it to be super technical about it, you could call that drop C, and we'll call this drop D. And then at the end here, we'll do an outro, which is kind of the same thing as the intro. It's more for the DJs than anything else, just so they have something to mix from. So that's pretty much the template of the arrangement, and the song length right now, even with these intros, is about 4:11. It's telling me 4 minutes 11 seconds. So I'm pretty good with that. You got to watch. A lot of times it's easy to just keep adding stuff in your arrangement, and the song just gets to be like crazy long. So I would recommend against getting caught up in that. So now that we have this this intro and this breakdown section, let's go ahead and just get a quick little intro thing going. Let's see if I can unfreeze this pad. And actually, I'm going to unfreeze pretty much everybody for a minute here, because I want to be able to kind of pick and choose the parts for the intro that I want to do. So if I peel this pad back, I don't think there's going to be any information there. So let me go ahead and copy this here. And then the same thing for all of my keys. Go ahead and unfreeze this guy. All right, so we have access to all of our tracks now, I believe. Kick and clap, we're going to need those as well. So let's unfreeze. The kick and the clap stuff, that's just triggering samples, so those are not usually too bad. It's those VSTs, like, you know, your synths and your keys and stuff, that are going to take up a lot of CPU for that to be necessary. So let's see what this is just with the intro. All right, so real quick, the first thing I want to do for this intro, I want to do a little experiment. Let's pitch this up 12 semitones. No, I'm not feeling that. So let's go with a filter on certainly this piano, but I have a feeling I'm going to use it on all the pianos, so I'm going to just put it right here after my LFO tool, which is basically what's giving me the sidechain compression, the pump, when we get into the chorus and the drops. And let's see, yeah, 11.3. Let me make sure that automation copied over. Good. Okay. So I'm going to put this filter in here. We're going to do a low pass filter here just so we can kind of darken it. All right, so let's try to play with this a little bit now. Yeah, I like that already. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to show the automation for this. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off by bringing it all the way up so that everything's coming through. And then just for this intro, what I'm going to do is bring this down to about that 200 hertz-ish range. And then if I hover, you can see here it's giving me my automation line. Also, really quickly, in case anybody is not familiar out there with what automation is basically where you can write in, just like I'm doing here, you can write in this stuff and you can basically, you know, tell these knobs and controls what to do at a certain part of the song. So what I'm doing here, if you watch my auto filter down here, you'll see it start to rise. And also what I'm going to do since I put this in here, I'm going to hit the option key and you see I get that little curve tool. So now I'm going to kind of more gradually bring in the filter, or take it out actually.
One more day.
Okay, I like that. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to copy this filter that we just did, and I'm going to throw it on the pad as well. But I don't want the pad to be as filtered as the original one. So instead of starting at 217, I'm going to bring this up to about, let's try the 700-800 area. So what I like about doing this is obviously very simple stuff that I'm doing. But another thing to notice is when you start setting this stuff up like this, what we can now do is I'm going to highlight here. And I'm going to grab the whole section here and I'm going to bring this down, and I'll explain why in just a second. When I highlight, this is a more Ableton specific thing, but all the DAWs have these functionalities with the automation. I'm going to highlight that section, and then when I drag down, you'll see it's giving me these points at the beginning of the section and at the end of the section. The reason I want to do that is because I'm going to put another one right here. So now I've got that perfect middle point. And actually, I think Ableton, they said, just got it finally to where, yes, it will snap. I can't tell you how happy that makes me. It snaps to the bar, meaning my automation point is going to snap right on that grid line, which Ableton did not used to do. So now that I have this middle point right here, I'm going to, and remember, this is all of my verse and build stuff. So again, you're trying to get the listener to go on this like roller coaster, right? So watch what we're going to do. We're going to start low, we're going to go high, we're going to start high, and then guess what? We're going to go low. So I'm going to get rid of this point that I put in, and now I have this slope down, and we'll kind of, again, gradually bring it down. And then over here, same thing. I'm going to gradually bring it up, and that's going to help build some momentum into my drop right here. So same thing with the filter. I'm going to do that same, I mean with the pad, I'm sorry, the pad. I'm going to bring that down a little bit. And then I'm going to put this point right here, take this one, take this one. And then with the pad, let's try and just leave it straight, you know, an angled line. I'm not going to worry about doing these slopes like this. So let's see what that sounds like. And then before we go ahead and listen to that, let's go ahead and get in. We're definitely going to need some kick and clap action. So let's see if we can get some of that happening as well. Bring this all the way out. Same thing here with the drums. I'm going to probably throw this same auto filter on my drums here. Make sure we get it on the whole group. All right, cool. I think that started probably a little bit too low. And I actually want it to end, I think, a little bit lower as well. Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the automation. Well, I think we'll be okay with this. We'll just keep it on there for now, because that way I can kind of play with it a little bit later if I want to do some more filtering type stuff with my drums. So now, since I copied that from another track, you can see here it copied that automation. So I don't want any of this automation over here. I want to just keep it all the way up. So we ended up about here. Let's listen to the end.
One more day.
All right, cool. So now that we finished that part off, let's go ahead and make sure we get all the way up at the end here. Meaning I just want to make sure my filter is reset to all the way open, so that way I'm not taking anything away from my drums there, right? So, okay, we got a little bit of an intro going on. This is good. Now, I would like to maybe on the second, again, we can't just have the same thing rolling for 16 bars, right? So at the end of the first 8 bars, we need to add something. So let's see if we can do, and why is this not labeled? I'm embarrassed. Vocal percussion. Okay, this is our regular percussion. Not sure how that slipped away from me. But let's see if we can now take this. And we'll just do it maybe in that second part. Alright, I don't like the lower one, so let's get rid of that. And again, this is how easy it is to kind of, you know, the listener may not realize that when they hear this drop, that they're going to be hearing this little clave percussion thing. But again, if you can kind of clue them in right here, and I know it's kind of low, see, get a little close to the end here. It kind of primes their brain to when they hear that again in the drop, they're like, oh, that's familiar. I remember that sound. And that's how you start tying all these sounds together like that. So I like the percussion there. I think that should probably be good, with the exception of the bass. And then let's see this melody. think this note is not quite snapped onto the grid there. Okay. So we might be able to get away with this melody being in here as well. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, because I got that going on, I'm going to group now all of these. So we've got our keys, which is our, let's rename this to M1 drop B, because that's what that was. Again, try to keep, as you can see, as our sessions grow, it's easy to lose track of things. So let's make sure we keep labeling everything. So we got that. So now I can fold up all those pianos in my keys folder, right? So now we have all these kind of synth type sounds right here. I'm going to go ahead and group these as well now. And I'm going to rename that to synths. So I have keys, which I'm thinking of as my pianos. And then I have my synths, which I'm thinking of as obviously my synths. So now that we did that, let's see if we could actually move this auto filter that we just put in with the automation. Instead of having it just on this pad track like this, I'm actually not going to copy it. I'm going to move it to the synths track as a whole. And then this way, it's going to operate on all of these sounds in this group. And then let's also see if our string drone would do something, do well in there. Let's see. Okay, so you might be wondering, like, wait, that sounds weird. I thought it was supposed to be filtered. So this is another little thing that'll trip a lot of people up when you first start off producing. When I move that filter to this synths group channel here that I just did, this folder channel or group, whatever you want to call it, when I group these three instruments right here, they were originally all going to the track channel we have set up down here, which this is my whole track right here. Everything in the track is going right here. And that means everything up here, all the instruments, all go to this track channel. And I explained this in a previous video. If y'all missed any of this, you can go to the YouTube or Facebook page, Periscope, all that stuff. The links should be there, and you can check out what we did when I routed all this stuff. But essentially, what you want to make sure, and this is, you know, again, something good to start, you know, as we progress and get closer to the finish line here. What I want to stress again is that, you know, you have to keep this stuff organized, because you won't even realize why certain things are happening with your mix. So for this, for example, I just moved this filter up here to the synth group channel, but I'm not hearing the filter anymore on any of these tracks. And the reason that is because all three of these tracks, when I group them, they're still going to this track channel. So the pad, he's not going into the synth group channel right here. He's going all the way down to this track channel, and the track channel has nothing on it but just like a volume thing. So I need to make sure that I send all of these three tracks into the group track, which is called synths. So now that I'm sending these three tracks, pad, string drone, and melody, into the synths group channel here, now they're going to be going through that filter. So let's take a listen. Now, another quick thing I'm noticing here. On the string drone, I already have a filter, an auto filter that we did automation for right here. And when I copied this over, it didn't copy the automation in the filter on the string drone track itself. So let's go ahead and try and see if we can get that. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do copy, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to write paste. And then we just copied and pasted our automation there. Hey, Manuel, what's up, my friend? Thank you. Yes, good vibes for 2021 as well. Yeah, we need it, man. Oh, man, do we need it. All right, so let's check that out. Now we have our string drone. We should be able to hear a little bit better. Okay, I like that. So what I do want to do here, though, is I want to put another auto filter on this melody, because I don't, and actually, instead of doing an auto filter, let's do it a different way instead of just stacking a bunch of plugins here. So the auto filter is essentially just an EQ, right? Let's see if I can pull this up a little higher for you guys and girls. So it's just an EQ, right? So a auto filter is just giving you kind of like a one knob thing. This thing's getting a little bit too high for my liking at the end. So I'm going to check it at the end and see exactly how high I would like for it to be. It's a little too bright for the intro. About right there. So if I look down here, that's about 790 hertz, okay? So I'm going to reset that. And I'm going to bring this down. And I need to make sure I'm showing the automation for my frequency right here, right? Because that's what I want to manipulate. So in Ableton, I can right click. And I can hit show automation. And that's how I know I'm going to see that correct line right there. So let's bring this down and finish it. We'll finish it at about 1,000 hertz. Let's see what that sounds like. And then also, I think we need to start back a little bit to get that first note. Yeah, just nice and subtle like that, right? So let's see if we can maybe, we might need to throw one more little thing in there for the intro. All right, so next thing I want to do here is our chorus vocal. It would be cool if we could kind of introduce that as well. So the same thing again. I'm going to start this time a bar early because I want to make sure I catch the beginning of this right here. So I'm going to start at bar 32, and I'm going to grab just this section right here, right? And on this B section, and again, if we want to be thorough, we could say intro A, and then intro B. And the only reason I really like to do this, I don't always do it, but it just lets me know, hey, you're supposed to change something here for the B part. A and B need to be different. So I'm going to come in here, one bar before the intro B, and I'm going to paste. Oh, looks like I didn't copy. Copy. And paste. Nope, doesn't want me to do that for some reason. Let's try and copy the whole thing. We're 2 bars early now. Now, is this not frozen? That's interesting. I wonder why it won't let me. Oh, it looks like I may have. Let's see.
All I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. All I can do is, all I can do is, all I can do is dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, it didn't want me to copy that particular one for some reason, but it'll let me copy the second one. Not sure what's up with that, but anyway, we'll keep it moving. So here, I don't want to do the whole chorus. I just want to give them an essence of it. Again, you're trying to prime your listener's brain. When you get to the chorus, when they get to the chorus, they're going to say, oh, I remember that, and it sounds familiar to them. People like to kind of know what to expect. You know, they want a little bit of a surprise, but they want things to sound pretty familiar to them. So you got to be, you know, constantly introducing these little things without kind of spoiling the whole thing. You know what I mean? So watch how we're going to approach this.
All I I can do is.
Okay, so I'm going to delete all of this stuff, and I want to do just this all I can do is.
All I can do is.
And I'm just going to repeat this thing. So it looks like we have, yeah, one bar at the end there. And then let's see, I think that may not be. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to maybe even split this. So we're going to duplicate this LVOX chorus. I'm going to get rid of this one. That's interesting. It won't let me delete these. So I'm not sure if that's a little bug we found. But either way, we'll make it through. So on this LVOX chorus, I'm going to select all the track content and I'm going to delete it. And then let's see, what I really want to do is just move this from here down to here, right? So we have a fresh track here. We didn't screw anything up with our chorus stuff. Let's rename this now. We're going to call this Intro Vocals. And these are all, again, of course, going to our lead vocal bus, which has all this stuff on it.
All I can do is.
So this is starting about 2 beats before the next measure. So if I was to copy this, I would need to go 2 beats before the next measure, like that. Yeah, I think that must be a bug. It's not letting me do some of my key commands there. So about like that, right? And then we're going to do the same thing. Like that. There's definitely a quicker way to do this, but I'm just kind of dealing with this little bit of a bug it looks like Ableton's having with the copy paste right now. And just about there. I think we got one more to put in there. And then let's just go ahead and copy this one now, because I feel like we might do something with it down here. Oh, you know what? Huh. That's interesting. Trying to get a handle on this bug. Maybe it's I'm having a bug. All right, let's see.
All I can do is. All I can do is.
All right, so we for sure, since this is a track unto itself now, we can kind of manipulate it pretty freely without worrying about screwing our other vocals up. So let's just play around with some stuff here and see what it sounds like. Let's see what happens if we were to cut this here and mute that out. Here and mute that out. So it's just saying all I can. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think I would need to cut it off a little sooner. Like right here maybe. Try and go to there. Yeah, so I like that, kind of like an alternating type thing. So we're just going to grab this much, I think, right here, and we're going to get rid of this, I believe. And again, I don't know why my Everlove, oh, it's letting me do it there. So maybe something to do with dragging up in there. I'll have to look into that. Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit quicker this time, since I may have figured out what the deal is there. Yeah, so apparently I'm just now noticing you can select up here. Okay, back in business. So I had a bug, not Ableton. So we're going to do this all I can, and then all I can do is. All right, so in order to do this a lot quicker this time, I'm just going to go from here. I'm going to paste. Oh, need to get up there. And I'm going to paste, paste, paste. Let's see what that does for us. Now let's see really quickly here on the end with our regular chorus, if we grab that dance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All I can do is dance.
That's the dance right there. Let's copy that and see if we could throw that in here somewhere on the end. It would be like right there, and I think that's going to be pretty abrupt. Let's see what it sounds like with the track. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll see. It might actually work. We need to get it on a good spot, though, like an upbeat. So this is beat 4, and then the upbeat would be right here.
One more day.
Yeah, that might actually work.
One more day.
Yeah, that actually worked out pretty well. So the other thing I'm going to do here, so I just did a little bit of that automation, just a little bit. Maybe bump this up just a tad. That seems a little high still.
One more day.
All right, cool. So now what we're going to do, since we have that kind of worked out with the filter, and then I'm also going to put a reverb on here. And we're going to start this off. Let me actually, I have a ready to go, I call it the far away plugin, and you'll hear kind of what this is going to do. All I have to do is click this one knob here. Yeah, something like that. So let's go ahead and automate that now. Let's make sure we're getting everybody in there. So let's see what happens when we start it about here. And then we're going to finish up here. Let's actually finish it out here. Yeah, I think that's probably, let's see. So I'm going to get all that reverb out of the way. Now we can have a little bit of that reverb floating around on the intro, on the verse rather, right here, because there's not a whole lot else going down. in that section. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this intro vocals. I'm going to select once again all of my content, and I'm going to delete it. So now we have nothing on the track, right? I'm going to take this dance, and I'm going to get rid of this faraway plugin with the reverb. And now I'm just going to put a regular reverb on here. And then I'm going to also do a simple delay. Oh, I forgot. They don't call it simple delay anymore. It's just delay. Let's do maybe a filter delay. And then I want the delay to run into the reverb. And I want my delay, let's see. Definitely want a good bit of feedback on this. I don't want a third though. I want a quarter note, and then let's see if we can just kind of tweak the values of these percentages a little bit. Let's try some half note. Let's turn this one off. Let's try down here. Sometimes you just got to play around with this. Yeah, let's turn that one off again. That's what I was looking for. So what that's going to allow us to do is just give us this nice kind of break off from this intro part, right? So let's listen to the whole thing now.
One more day feels like you threw my heart away.
All right, that was decent. What I think I need to do though is I want to get rid of this auto filter on this guy. And then let's, of course, rename this. We're going to call this Intro Vocals Effects. Or better yet, let's just call it Delay. And then let's throw an EQ on here. And then that way we'll be able to control a little bit better what's going on. Let's put the EQ at the beginning here. Put our utility at the end if we need to do any volume automation later. Let's see what this sounds like. I want to make it a little thinner, so I'm going to take some bottom end away from it. Yeah, it's still a little bit high for my liking. And then let's take this one down a little bit. Trying to keep it in the same vibe. We also need to bring the volume down. Yeah, and I think it's just a little bit jarring because of the frequencies. All right, so the other thing I need to make sure I'm doing here is getting rid of my dry signal. Because I only want to hear the dry signal from this, and then the whole purpose of this track, I like doing this because you can kind of set up these cool little effects and stuff, and you don't have to worry about doing all this crazy automation on the actual track. You just pull your note that you want to delay down, and then just put it on another track. Yeah, and then the same thing here. I want to bring this reverb all the way up to wet. Maybe not all the way up. Yeah, and since we have this delay now going to run out, well, let's check it with the track, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this reverb way down quicker so we don't get so much of a trail.
feels like it through.
I think I like that. I think just the feedback needs to come down now on this delay.
One more day.
Yeah, just bring the volume down again on this.
One more day.
Going to get rid of this offset here. And then we're going to take this about here. We're going to bring it down. This is that far away plugin. And we're going to bring this down to about here. So I'm just going to depend more on the delay to trail than the reverb.
One more day.
Yeah, so I think we need to actually put that highest point there and then let this kind of scoot this over this way a little bit, but we're going to bring it out a little quicker.
One more day. Feels like you threw my heart away. One more chance.
All right, cool. So let's listen to this intro section. I think we'll wrap it up for today. The next one we're going to do is we'll work on this breakdown. And then we'll probably be able to do like the breakdown and the outro, which actually the outro is going to be pretty much the same thing as the intro. So let's make sure our intro is cool. Oh, you know what? I just thought of, there was one thing I wanted to check on as well for the intro. Yeah, so this first bass right here, and let's rename this so we can have a better idea. This is the low bass, and then I know now that this is the high bass just from looking at it. That'll be helpful. So let's grab, for our intro here, and then let's get rid of this stuff here. And then let's see if we could just do like a basic kind of a pattern on the upbeats kind of a deal. So I'll just loop this first. So I like that, but now we need to kind of match a little bit better what's going on with our keys. Okay, so we need to get the notes in there now. That's another little trick for you guys and girls out there. If you're having trouble, especially with bass notes, and you're having trouble telling what pitch it is, instead of, if you're trying to go super low, bring it up to the high one first, and then you'll hear the pitch better, and then you can just bring it down. So I know that's for my C. Yeah, so that should be it right there. We'll loop this. Okay, and you'll notice here, I'm actually switching that chord earlier with the keys, so let's make sure we match that stuff. And then same thing here. Yeah, we'll keep it kind of basic like that for now. And then the same thing here with this bass. Good old auto filter. We're going to throw that on. Same thing, low pass. And then we're going to start. Let's try to start about right there. All right, same deal. My highlight, I want to just put in a couple nodes here, they're called. And I actually clicked the wrong thing. I was going to switch the type of filter there. I need to make sure I click my frequency. And now Ableton, you can see, is showing me my auto filter frequency automation here. So I'm going to put in that little point, and then we're going to bring it up. Something like that. And now here, I can reset back to 0. So that way we're going to have our regular bass later on. I want to start my vocal a little more airy and reverbed out.
One more day feels like you threw my heart away.
All right, I think that's cool. I'm not 100% on this last little part with the delay. I think that needs a little bit of work because we're going to have to massage that to fit with this vocal here, with the first part of the verse vocal. So we'll take a look at that on the next one on Saturday. And then, like I said, this intro here, we could pretty much copy and then point to our outro over here. Let's see what that sounds like coming out of the drop. This is just pure copy paste. So what we'll have to do on the end here, you know, in the beginning, of course, we're building up. On the end, we're kind of ramping down. So the same thing with our automation. We don't want to just drop it here. Let's do like that so that it's going to bring the listener out nice and gradually. Let's see if that's going to do it. Yeah, for the keys, same thing here. We want to actually bring it out nice and gradually, like that. Let's see if our synths, I believe we had some automation right on our master group, that is. Same thing, we'll kind of bring it down to where it's going to be a little more inaudible. And then here, we'll keep our strings, start them high, and then we'll bring them low. And then the melody might be good. Let's see. All right, cool. The only thing I hear now is with our drums, we're doing the same thing, dropping out suddenly. So let's bring this down and about like that. Okay, and our dance got cut off here. I think that was the whole thing. And then make sure we get it all here as well for our delay. And that would actually be pretty nice to end it on with the dance thing, since it is a dance song, right? And it looks like we're actually missing just a little bit of our D. And did we do that in the beginning as well, possibly? Maybe that's why I wasn't liking it. Yeah, we're missing some of our D, it looks like here.
One more day. One more day.
Okay, I want to show y'all one more quick thing on this, since I think I see what's going on here with this. Again, another tip: if you're having a problem with a certain section of the song you're working on, or if you start working on it for too long, go to another section, do something else, come back, fresh, at least mindset on this, and say, okay, I see what's going on here. So for this dance, all I can do is dance, 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 dance. Yeah, I guess I like it on the upbeat like that. Let's see if we can get this far away thing to kind of peak about there, and then we'll start kind of coming out of it there.
One more day.
All right, so that's nothing going on there. Yeah, that should be all right.
One more day.
Yeah, I think maybe this delay just might not be working because it's clashing with my lead vocal, right?
One more day.
All right, so I got a better idea for you. Instead of the delay thing, we're going to get rid of this. And then we're just going to put this super long reverb on here, which I'm going to try and cut this far away reverb that I had going. And then on here, we're just going to have a nice super long, all the way wet reverb. Let's see what this sounds like. More decay. Let's bring the volume up a little bit. Yeah, let's see. And we're also missing our dance, the C on there. Man, what am I doing? All right, let's make sure we get that dance. Okay, we got it in there. So that also might have been a bit of an issue. So you got to be careful when you copy and paste and stuff like this, because you might lose stuff.
One more day.
Yes, that is much better. Okay, that was going to bother me if we didn't fix it before the end of today's lesson. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope y'all got something out of it. We have now an intro. We have a verse. I'm sorry, we did an intro and an outro today, but we also, which I really enjoy the idea, is that we have a whole template now for our whole completed song, right? Let me collapse all of this stuff. So we have a whole template, and the reason I like doing this at this point is because when you get to the point we're at, where it's like, okay, we got most of the instrumentation, we got most of the vocal stuff, and it's like, it's a little easy to just keep kind of going, like, oh, let me play with this and let me play with that. Now that I have this roadmap with the locators set up, and I have essentially an arrangement skeleton, now I can just go in and I think of it as just kind of filling in the dots, you know what I mean? Like filling in the blanks, as opposed to just always trying to think, oh my God, what am I going to do next? We have the framework now. We have the whole arrangement laid out. Now all we have to do is kind of fill in the dots, kind of, work some parts together so they sound good and they kind of flow. And a lot of that's going to have to do with the transitional stuff that we're going to do probably in 2 more lessons. So what we'll do next lesson is we'll work on the breakdown. We'll probably be able to do that pretty quickly. And then what I may start doing is throwing in some of my transitional elements, and that'll essentially complete the arrangement. And then finally, we're going to come back and I will start doing the, what I like to call the sprinkles, which is the little things. I've tried to show y'all some things along the way that are these cool little tricks that you can do to add some unique stuff to your songs and make them sound, custom to you. But we're going to definitely add some more effects and transition and kind of liven this thing up a little bit even more. So I hope that was helpful. Hope y'all have a great day today. I will see y'all again on Saturday. Peace out.